What is up, YouTube? It is Jeff Tuffner here on the Glorious Podcast. And as we saw this past Monday on Monday Night Raw, we got the much-anticipated return of The Shield, reuniting for the first time in almost 3 years. Now, many wonder exactly why did WWE reunite The Shield, and it's a pretty simple answer to exactly why The Shield are back together. And it's just look at the ratings, just look at the attendance figures over the last, few months, 3 months specifically. Maybe even over the last year if you want to go that far ahead. But the attendance figures are at an all-time low. The viewership is even worse. Attendance has really given it a run for its money lately, though. I mean, if you've seen the pictures going around from Raw and SmackDown, more specifically SmackDown events over the last, 2 months, you'll be very surprised at the amount of empty seats there are at these shows. People are not willing to spend the money to go out to the shows anymore like they used to. People don't find there any reason to tune into the shows on a weekly basis like they used to. WWE, it's simple as that, are losing viewers. They're losing fans. People are no longer interested in the product. I personally haven't been enjoying the product as much as I used to when I first started watching. It was definitely better back then when I was watching, 5 years ago. It's right now, it's at its all-time low. It is at an all-time low. And, as you can tell by the title of this video, why the WWE, the real reason WWE brought the Shield back, it is because they went into panic mode. They're losing their minds over there. It's as simple as that. They dug themselves into a hole over the last year or so. Ever since this brand split they did last summer, they've dug themselves into this big hole, and now they can't get themselves out of it. And they've really screwed up all over the place, all over the board, Raw, SmackDown, everything, you name it. It is just one big mess currently right now. Shows are just consistently bad. The idea of having 2 pay-per-views every month, practically every month. I mean, not every month there's 2 pay-per-views, but almost every month we get a pay-per-view, and then it's like almost 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, we're sitting here watching another pay-per-view. Don't get me wrong, the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view this last Sunday was amazing. Maybe one of the best pay-per-views of the year. It's up there with like WrestleMania and all that. But I mean, the majority of these single branded pay-per-views have been complete failures. I mean, Fastlane, awful. Elimination Chamber, decent. Extreme Rules, I could say that was one of my least favorite pay-per-views of the year. Battleground, though, I think was the worst of them all. I mean, there was nothing good on Battleground. It was easily one of the worst pay-per-views of the year. Payback was decent. I mean, the SmackDown pay-per-views, I think, are the worst. I mean, not necessarily, actually. The Raw ones have been pretty bad, too. Every here and now, you'll get a good single-branded pay-per-view, but the majority of them just plain out suck. And then we got the next one coming up. It's TLC. It's a Raw pay-per-view, and they're simply putting the Shield back together because ticket sales were bad for this show, and they were not selling tickets at all. Tickets were not selling for the TLC show. I'm pretty sure it's in Minneapolis, Minnesota, so nobody wanted to go to the show. WWE didn't have anything, so you know what they said? You know what they thought? Let's put the Shield back together. People are going to be like, yeah, the Shield are back together. I'm going to come out to the show. You're going to hear the Shield being advertised for the show. You're going to see the Shield that are going to be in the main event, presumably the main event of the show, against, it's a handicap match now, against The Miz, Braun Strowman, Cesaro, and Sheamus, and it's a TLC match. I honestly, I bet you this will probably end up being a pretty fun match. It will probably end up being a pretty fun match to watch. I think we'll actually enjoy this match, but, the reasoning behind it is just, it's because WWE, once again, is too lazy to come up with anything else. So they're just like, let's just throw the Shield back together. And then they're bringing up Asuka from NXT. So they're going to try to, promote the pay-per-view off Asuka a little bit, too. Not as much as they're going to do it with the Shield, but definitely with Asuka. They're going to use her to get people to want to come to the show. I mean, personally, if I lived in the Minneapolis area right now, I might want to go to the show just because it's a pay-per-view, and a pay-per-view, just going to a show in person is much better than watching it on TV or the network or whatever. But, it depends what the prices are. I mean, the prices for tickets these days are outrageous. I mean, nobody wants to pay that much money to go to a pay-per-view. I mean, just ticket prices for, Raw and SmackDown are out of control. I mean, the pay-per-view prices are, $200 a ticket. I mean, but the Shield, putting the Shield back together, not only does it, going to draw viewership back? Are they going to, they're going to gain viewers? It's also going to help with merch sales. Just look at the WWE shop. Look at all the T-shirts they've been dropping over the last week or whatever. They had a new one they just dropped on Raw, which I'm not going to lie, I kind of like the new one they were wearing on Raw. Then I just saw today they had a new jacket out. They have another T-shirt for the Shield. So they're already going crazy with Shield shirts and stuff on the shop. And they're going to, they're going to bring out more stuff. I don't know how long the Shield's going to last, and they're just maybe going to go their separate ways once again, or are they going to do a whole nother breakup angle again? Are we going to go through this once again? Is someone going to turn? Is maybe Dean going to turn heel this time and then turn on Roman and Seth? I don't know. Or maybe we'll get what we want, and Roman will turn heel. People would love that, because I can't believe it. We're sitting here at the closing in on the end of 2017 here in October, and Roman Reigns is still face. Go back to the Royal Rumble when he won in 2015. I thought right after that he needs to turn heel. It's almost 3 years or 2 years, 2.5 years later, he's still face. They just won't turn him heel. I don't know what it is. It's the simple fix right there. Any person could just, think the obvious decision would be to turn Roman heel. But for some odd reason, Vince McMahon will not do that, because for some odd reason in his mind, he thinks Roman Reigns is the next John Cena. He's not. It's clear as day Roman Reigns is not the next John Cena. Cena got over with the crowd. You could just comparisons from when Cena came in to Roman coming in. People actually liked Roman. And you know what? Another reason they put the Shield back together, there's actually a list of reasons, guys. There's more than just the simple, it's going to draw viewership, it's going to increase ticket sales reason. It's going to increase merch sales. There's a number of reasons. Another one is they're going to try to get Roman over. They're going to try to get Roman over using Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose, the whole Shield thing. The only time people somewhat cheered for Roman is when he was with the Shield. Right after he got out of the Shield, nobody liked him. It's because of the way he was booked. It's not necessarily Roman's fault himself. Granted, his mic skills aren't that good. He could improve on that. But and he's not a bad wrestler. He's had a bunch of good matches, in my opinion, but it's his character. Nobody likes his character. It's as simple as that. He needs a heel turn more than anything, and I personally don't think we're ever going to get it. If Roman ever turns heel, that would be a day to remember right there. But I doubt we're going to get it, because I think Vince is just going to continue to try to push him as the top star, the face of the company. Hell, Roman beat John Cena clean at the No Mercy pay-per-view about a month ago. Clean. No dirty finish. Nobody got involved. He straight up beat John Cena. So, that's a sort of passing of the torch there. Cena giving it off to Roman, which clearly Roman doesn't deserve it one bit. And that's the thing. Like you say, if Roman's not the face of the company right now, then who is the face of the company? Is it AJ Styles? It's not Brock Lesnar. You cannot say it's Brock Lesnar, a guy who shows up about 10 times a year. And that's including, Raws and live events and pay-per-views. He barely shows up. Brock Lesnar isn't even you can't consider Brock Lesnar a main fixture on the roster. He's not really a part of the show. He just comes in for a show every here and there at the big pay-per-views only usually. And then he runs away with the title. He takes the Universal title with him. He's got the title with him now. He'll show up. He's not even going to be on the TLC pay-per-view as of now. There is no Universal title match. So the top title on Monday Night Raw isn't even being defended. So that doesn't even help. That doesn't help right there. Why would you want to go to a pay-per-view when the top title isn't even going to be on the card? So, that's simple there. You don't put the title on a guy who barely shows up. Stupid decision there by WWE. I'm not even going to lie to you guys. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'd much rather maybe have the title on Roman than Brock Lesnar, being that Brock Lesnar never shows up. If Roman's at least going to be there, you're going to be able to count on him all the live events and all Monday Night Raws and everything in the pay-per-views to defend the title, so at least we'll get a title match. With Brock Lesnar, you're going to get just about every other pay-per-view. You get the big four, definitely, Royal Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series. And then, occasionally he'll do, maybe one of the single-branded Raw pay-per-views. But other than that, you barely see Brock Lesnar. And then he'll show up on Raw maybe once every month, once every 2 months, as a matter of fact. He was showing up a little bit, around SummerSlam time, but now he's disappeared again. We probably won't see him again until Survivor Series. So, it's just simple. The Shield right now is a temporary fix. It is a temporary fix. It's not going to fix this company in the long run. You're not going to be able to, You put the Shield back together. It's a temporary fix. It's gonna help now. It is going to help. There's no question about that. I mean, you're gonna see the viewership go up a little bit. You're gonna see attendance figures maybe climb a tad bit. I mean, you know what I mean. More people are gonna be watching. It's simple as that. But the Shield, you can't run with it forever. You cannot run with it for another year. You can't just say, let's just keep the Shield forever. They can't create anything new. They're not creating new stars. You know what I mean? Like I was just saying how if Roman's not the face of the company, then who is the face right now? There is no clear-cut face of the company. I wouldn't even consider it Roman. It's not Brock Lesnar, like I've said before. It's not John Cena anymore either. I mean, like I said, Cena's days are numbered. He's a part-timer now. You know what I mean? I mean, you go back maybe 5 years, 6 years. You had The Undertaker, John Cena, Triple H, Shawn Michaels. All those guys were stars. You can't there's good wrestlers now, but they're not being built up as anything. They're all somewhat mid-card kind of guys. I mean, even Seth Rollins anymore. I mean, you would have thought he was, but right now he seems just kind of maybe a main eventer guy, but more of a mid-card kind of guy. Same with Finn Balor, Bray Wyatt. There's no main event kind of picture right now. It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, you can make a case maybe for a guy like Braun Strowman. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they want to move. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he's the guy to make the face of the company though. He's definitely a guy you could put up there as a top guy in, going for the Universal title or the WWE title. But I mean, you're gonna need more than just Braun Strowman up there. You need to create more stars. And it just feels right now it's just a shit ton of mid-card kind of guys to somewhat higher card, and there's barely any of that main event talent, though. But there are guys who could put on great matches. It's just their characters and the way they're getting booked is just not good. It's as simple as that. So, I mean, I don't know what the problem is over at WWE. I don't know what the problem is. It's been for the last, 2 years or whatever. Mainly the last year, to be more specific. You know what I mean? It just people complain every week after week after week. It just doesn't change. You think after all the complaining and everything that it eventually will get better. It hasn't. It has not gotten better. I wouldn't say it's gotten worse. I mean, maybe right now it's at a low right now. I don't know if this is just because maybe it's that time of the year. I mean, it's a kind of a time of the year where I've noticed that WWE kind of does lose viewership with football starting up and everything, and all hockey season, basketball season, all the other sports and everything are starting up. So, I mean, people are going to maybe be tuning into that instead of wrestling, especially if wrestling's not even that good. But, I always hate it when WWE just gives up. If it's a night where they're going up against something on Raw or whatever, and it's people are going to watch that instead. They don't even put an effort forth to, maybe make people to do the show. And then this year, for a perfect example, they're doing Monday Night Raw live on Christmas night. I cannot wait to see the viewership for this show come out. This might be the lowest viewed Monday Night Raw ever. There's so many things I could go off on about this. I did a video on this about a month ago or 2 months ago. Whenever they announced it, it's just such a stupid decision. First of all, the superstars who are on the road almost 300 days a year can't even get off on Christmas to spend time with their families. You have to make them come out to Monday Night Raw, the show that's always been recorded, the Christmas show. They always would do that the week before or whatever. And then, the superstars can go home, enjoy the week with their families and everything. But no, they do give them time off. But the fact that they make them work on Christmas is just absurd. And then it's not even you know what I mean? It's going to be one of the viewest load Raws ever. It's going to be that. I might not even be watching that show. I usually watch it almost every week. But if there's a show I'm going to miss, it might be the Christmas show because I don't really want to spend my, the Christmas night watching a bad episode of Monday Night Raw. So it's when they know they're not going to get viewers, when WWE knows they're not getting that viewership, they throw the towel in and they just don't do anything. They just, you see it all the time. July 4th episode last year, 2016. Remember how bad that episode of Raw was? They knew people weren't going to be watching the show. They knew people were going to be out partying and everything. So they know, they're like, all right, we're not going to do anything special tonight. Throw the towel in for this one. That's what they're going to do on Christmas. It's why? It's such a bad decision. I don't know how this is necessarily, I don't know if it's going to make more money. And then people coming to the show. I mean, who's going to want to go to Raw on Christmas? I mean, I think they're doing it in Chicago, too, out of all cities. One of the best wrestling cities out there, Chicago. I mean, I still even think, even though it's in Chicago, I don't think there'll be that great of an attendance at this show. I mean, I could go on for hours about how this decision's bad and just everything. The main point of this video was actually the whole Shield thing, to go back on topic and why they reunited the Shield. Like I said, I named like almost 5 reasons. There's probably 5 more I could name in regards to why the Shield are back together. It's a temporary fix. It's as simple as that. That's pretty much what it's all come down to. It's a temporary fix. They're panicking. They know viewerships. Like they're seeing the crowds. They're seeing all these people not coming to the shows. They're seeing the viewership drop every week. They're like, all right, we got to do something. We need an immediate fix right now. So I mean, they could have give Goldberg a call. Goldberg could come back for a few episodes, and that would increase the viewership. Or maybe give Brock a call. Pay Brock a little bit more, and then he'll come out to the shows. That's what they do. They just advertise these old guys. You know what I mean? Or they bring the Undertaker back for all the hell. You know what I mean? That's what they'll do. They can't create new stars, so they're like, all right, we can always count on the Undertaker to bring in viewership. Or, advertise this guy, this legend for the show. Maybe Shawn Michaels for the show. And then, maybe more people would come out just to see Shawn Michaels at the show. Because they have nothing. They can't do anything with what they got. That's the problem. They can't do anything with what they currently got. So they got to bring back guys of the past, stars of the past in the business to just get people to want to come out to the shows and tune into the shows on a weekly basis. Which is just disgusting and bad and just, I don't even know what the word to describe it is. It's just not right. It's just, it's stupid. It's stupid. They need new writers. I think they just need to clean out all the writers they have now on both shows. All of them, except for NXT. Keep NXT. NXT's fine. I wouldn't say move the NXT writers up to the main roster. Just let them keep doing what they're doing in NXT because that's the only thing people enjoy. NXT takeovers, if you have not watched them, you need to go watch them because they are the best. The NXT takeover Brooklyn happened about a month ago, SummerSlam weekend, was one of the best wrestling shows I've ever watched, in my personal opinion. It was completely, from beginning to end, I liked every single thing about it. I gave it like a 9.5 out of 10. It was just incredible. It was. I think it's my favorite show of the entire year. Maybe my favorite show in my 7 years of watching wrestling. So I mean, if you haven't gone and watched NXT, you have to go watch it. It's better than what you're watching on Mondays and Tuesdays. I could tell you that for sure. But that's basically it, though. I mean, this rant went on a little bit too long, I guess. But let me know what you guys think of all this stuff I just said. Let me know if you agree with my point of why the Shield are back together. I mean, like I said, I'm excited the Shield are back together. Don't get me wrong. It was cool seeing them reunite and everything on Raw. But, like I just know in the back of my head, I'm like, this is just stupid, though, in the long run. This is just WWE going back to what they've already created, unable to create new stuff to get people to tune into the shows, going back to the old stuff just to get people to tune in. So, I mean, it was cool in the moment, but, guys, trust me, in the long run, it's going to hurt WWE once again. Once again, just another bad decision. Anyway, that's it, though, guys. Go follow me all over social media. Links will be listed in the descriptions below. Leave a like, subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow here on the Glorious Podcast.